I've never been called baby so much in my life.
It's not baby. It's baby.
Baby. Which, and you know what?
Baby.
We are just so pleased to have the dynamic duo with us from the Pelicans games. Joel Meyers, Antonio Daniels, thank you for coming in today.
It's our pleasure.
Yes, it is.
You know that.
I know y'all been making it big time this year, traveling and at the Smoothie King Center, but you're finding your home here at the studio, so thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, you know that.
Y'all both call the games. I got to ask you, what was your first real New Orleans moment? Your first real, I know this is going to take you back a bit, when you knew you were in New Orleans.
I've got one. I told Greg Bensel it was like my first or second year, and I had great moments. I think it was the first year, and I live right down the street from the arena, and I was walking to the game, and a bus stopped, one of the public service buses. He opened the door, and he went, "Hey," and he wanted to talk about the Pels right away. And all these people are on a bus, but he stopped the bus, opened the door, and it was so genuine. It was like, okay, I like it. It was perfect.
It's in the DNA here.
Yep.
Antonio, what about you?
I could go as easy as walking down Canal Street. Will always let you know you're in New Orleans. But I think back to when I played here, and I had never experienced Mardi Gras before. You know, nothing with it. Never experienced Mardi Gras before. And we played and came back during Mardi Gras. And I remember I tried to go to a gas station and I tried to go to the grocery store. And everything was shut down. And I didn't grasp the concept. I didn't get it. You know, I got traded from the Wizards here,
right? You
know, mid-season. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. But then to actually understand, I've obviously heard about Mardi Gras before, but never really understood it. I was never entrenched in it. And that was my first experience with Mardi Gras. Literally nothing. It was Fat Tuesday, as a matter of fact.
Of all days.
Of all days. It was Fat Tuesday. So I'll never forget, like, oh, okay. So this is what it's all about. And now I get it.
That's beautiful. You know, people will hear you on the broadcast, but talk about y'all's relationship off the air. Y'all are in sync off the air as much as you are on the air?
Yeah, we think alike when it comes to the game. Now, our music, that's a different story.
Correct.
Okay, but that's generational. But
and cultural.
Yes, we think alike. I just sent him videos from Soul Train and from 70s stuff. I don't make it like they used to.
Yeah.
So, but we met in 99. You know, when I was doing the Spurs, AD was playing in the backcourt for the Spurs. When he wasn't at Tim Duncan's house.
True.
On a Sony PlayStation or Xbox or whatever it was in those days, because if you needed to find AD, just where's Tim?
That's where.
So we've been friends truly over 25 years.
It makes it great on the air. You can hear it on the air.
I tell Joel all the time, we have to take his phone away because he gets in these modes where we're both passionate about the sport. Very passionate about the sport. So on days that we're not actually doing Pelicans games, we're watching League Pass. You know, I have a SiriusXM show every day that I have to keep up with everything that's going on outside of the
constant
homework. I'm talking about all 29 other teams. So just throughout the course of the night, you know, was that last night?
I texted you.
Yeah, he texted me last night at 11:30 at night.
Well, we were watching games. It was a late game.
Technically, I wasn't. I was asleep. But he woke me up.
Well, it was the closeout.
And
reckless.
He was talking about a reckless closeout that happened in the game yesterday, and then went back to the reckless closeout that happened against Derek Queen in the New York Knicks game.
Right.
You know, so it's just what I think really ties us together is we're different in so many areas, but our love for the sport is parallel.
Well, that shows. You can hear it. I mean, that is unmistakable.
Yeah, and our love for the city.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Now, you mentioned food just a few minutes ago. I'm going to give you a question. Someone's coming into the city for the first time, and I know it's going to be like trying to choose your favorite child, but where do you tell them to go eat?
You can start. I got a lot.
What do they have to
Neither
eat?
one of us cook.
Yeah.
So
I
we
tell them-
eat out. We're good for the local economy.
This is so funny you ask this question. So I have friends that'll come in town, right? Or I have like a volleyball tournament that'll be here. And they'll always ask me for restaurant recommendations.
Right.
And I tell them, talk to Joel. So I'll introduce my people that come in town to Joel, or I'll text Joel and ask him for restaurant recommendations. I know I can never go wrong. Not just in New Orleans, but period. Anywhere.
But know your personnel, as he says.
KYP.
Know your personnel,
KYP.
their budget, what they're looking for.
And then you can give them their choice.
I have 2 restaurants in the rotation I go to all the time.
Okay.
And they're going to, lock me out soon. And that's Clancy's. Excuse me, I get choked up. Clancy's and Vincent's. And I
Vincent's
go back
on St. Charles?
Yes, Vincent's on St. Charles.
Very
But
good.
they make you feel like it's really New Orleans.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to Mr. John's as well, people are table hopping because everybody knows everybody.
The old adage that's like going to Cheers. Everybody
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
your name, right?
Clancy's,
you're going to get that
Vincent's.
service. Even if they don't know you, you're going to get the service as if
Right.
you've been a customer there for many
So
years.
Clancy's and Archie out front at Mr. John's. Come on.
Yeah.
It's just it's great because this city is all about local restaurants.
Yeah.
You go to other major cities. Yeah. So
Yeah, and they're all neighborhood based, whether it's the French Quarter neighborhood or Uptown or Bywater or wherever, right?
it's healthy. It's great.
So when y'all both, I got to take you back a bit, but when you first came here, what local dish surprised you the most that you had never tasted before, but then you've been like, this is my go-to now?
I got a lot of them, unfortunately.
Had you done the crawfish thing
Yes.
before you got here?
like the crawfish boil?
Yeah.
I literally love that. I love
Was
that.
that something that you
It's a party.
experienced when
No.
you had done that before?
No, I haven't. I hadn't done that before.
Wow.
But coming and it's funny now because anytime we just in passing in conversation mention something on the air, like it was a couple of years ago where I had mentioned that I'd never been to a crawfish boil. And when I tell you the amount of invitations that I got to local, and that's why I love this city though. For example, just totally off subject. We were just in Detroit, and our stage manager in Detroit always brings a whole lot of different candy. One of the candies that she brought was Mike and Ike's. So we talked about it on air.
Oh, wow.
Right? And Joel kept calling them jelly beans. And I kept telling him, Joel, they're not jelly beans, they're Mike and Ike's. 2 completely different things.
That's what it says on the
Ike
the
and Mike,
package.
the I before the M, right? Ike and Mike.
Yesterday at the game, how many boxes of Mike and Ike's
We
did
had
we get? From just
I
fans
started
that were
eating
listening
them
to the
during
broadcast.
the
So
game,
it's-
right?
Yeah, like the just the love and
Right.
I tell you this though, I'm all for another crawfish because I've done a few of them, so I'm all for a crawfish.
All right, so I would imagine somebody watching this, you'll be getting some invitations to
Hey,
crawfish
I'm
boils.
open.
You're open.
I'm
Okay.
open.
All right, we'll find some time for that. What
And
about
it's,
you?
It's not the food though to boil; it's the atmosphere.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a social
Yeah,
event.
it's sitting around that table.
Yeah. If most of the time people are milling around
Yeah.
and eating and drinking.
Or finding that new person at the table who's never peeled a crawfish before and
great.
helping that person through
Yeah,
that process.
it's more of a party.
Yeah.
The food's great. Everything goes to the sausage, the crawfish, the corn on the cob, everything that's in there.
Beautiful.
But it's the people.
Yeah.
It's all about the people.
All right, so y'all travel to all the NBA cities. What makes New Orleans different? And it can be food, the culture, but what is it that you pull together and say?
Culture. Culture's unrivaled. Like you can go. I have been to everywhere you can possibly think of, and New Orleans is just different. It's just different. It's just a different feeling. Like when you leave here and then you come back here, it's because I live in San Antonio in the off season, so I go home to San Antonio, and the moment that the season starts back up in the beginning of October, I'm back, and it's just the people, the love, the passion, the culture. Like it's unrivaled.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different. Anywhere, and you always hear like people don't know what they don't know. There are so many perceptions out there about New Orleans and the people and so on and so forth. But until you get here and you're entrenched in it and you feel the love, it's very difficult to explain.
It's a host city. So everybody here gets it. They're genuinely nice to begin
Yeah.
with, but then they want to make sure your experience is good.
Yeah, that's like you were saying that when a bus driver opened the
Right.
door and just started talking to
Yeah.
you like you were a long lost friend.
And it's like, I've never been called baby so much in my life.
It's not baby. It's baby.
Baby. And you know
Sadiq
what?
baby.
It's the warmth
Yeah.
that goes
It is.
along
And
with
it's
it.
authentic.
You got it.
That's the thing. It's not fabricated. You can go certain places that feel fabricated.
Oh, yeah.
It just doesn't feel real. But when you're here, and it's little things. It's when you go to the games and the ushers are giving you brownies and cards and saying happy. Like it's just
Right.
the love that you feel here is just, it's a different kind of love. That's tough to explain.
We're going to give San Francisco some props here for a moment. You had said that outside of New Orleans, San Francisco is the best food city.
Well, it's unique, like New Orleans. It's different. As much as I love the food here, we don't have Asian food like that.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. It's like L.A., Chinatown in L.A., but San Francisco is a classic place.
Yeah, Antonio, would you agree?
That's fair. Yeah, that's definitely
Great
fair.
place.
I mean, it's different places. You go to San Antonio, you're going to get authentic Mexican food.
Right.
So I think it obviously depends on where you go. You go to New York, the pizza that's on the corners, and so it just depends on what you like.
Pick your spots.
Makes this country so great.
Yeah.
Y'all built some of the best chemistry on the air throughout the NBA. What's the secret behind that?
We don't try. It's natural. If it's, and we have a lot of guys that scream in the league, but we love the game. So if there's something that warrants, it's natural enthusiasm. So I grew up with the game. Bob Pettit, I was just with Bob and Alman. We went out to dinner for his 93rd birthday.
What a great guy.
What a couple. What a great family. I mean, I've been at their gatherings for whether it's Christmas or Thanksgiving, and it's like, wow, 50 people that actually love and get along.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, no, it's a lot of things to us come naturally. And I think that's the reason people pick up on it. And Mike and Ike.
I think it's everything that's wrong with our country now. I think Joel and I embrace.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is we live in a culture where we don't celebrate differences. It's almost like, well, if you don't think the way I do, or if you don't look the way I do, or if you don't act the way I do, then I'm going to stay away from you. And what we've learned to do is embrace each other's differences.
Right.
And it's again, it's authentic.
And it's respectful.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not like his music, his style of music, his genre of music is different than mine. His genre of food may be different than mine. But the thing is, I'm willing to listen to it. I'm willing to learn. Okay, so he'll send me something from Soul Train in the 60s or the early 70s.
Right.
I wasn't even alive, but I'll listen to it. So it's not like, well, you know what, Joel, I'm not really into that. You restaurant recommendations. He may know what I like and what I don't like, but he'll still give me those recommendations knowing that I don't like it and, let me try it. So I think what makes our chemistry what it is the fact that we are so different and we're willing to celebrate that in each other.
Yeah, and we appreciate diversity. We embrace it like this city does.
Yeah.
All walks of life. We're all different, but we all are the same.
Right. Let's talk about the fans, passionate fans at Smoothie King Center. What's the relationship like with y'all on that?
Loyalty, incredible loyalty. It's hard to believe. And now we've gotten to know so many people.
It's like a reunion, right? I mean, you've got
Everybody
loyal
cares.
season ticket holders. You've got kids who are there day in and day out. I mean, it's got to be an energizing thing for you.
Oh, they holler at us, and we appreciate it. And he takes a lot of selfies with people, which is really sweet. They want to be in a picture
Yeah.
with him, and it's great. So we're spoiled because the loyalty, there's been sweat equity with the Saints. That's 50 years plus.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're building little by little, but I think they understand how much we care. Right. So, and that loyalty comes across from them at the same time.
I love this fan base.
Yeah.
I really do. A fan base that is invested, passionate and loyal. And again, but that's a reflection of the city. It's a reflection of the city, and you're going to get the highest of highs, and you're going to get the lowest of lows. But again, it's all authentic.
Yeah.
So just the interactions, and for me, it's not just fans that are here in New Orleans. You know, when we go to, how many lottery tickets have we gotten from fans in other arenas?
Right.
'Cause
Or
a lot
letters.
of times, what we'll do is before the game, we'll walk around on the opposing mezzanine. Just kind of walk, and we'll find chicken tenders and sit and talk or whatever it may be. And the amount of lottery tickets and, you know, just different things that of New Orleans Pelicans fans in other places, it's awesome.
That's
Just received a letter that Matt's office turned over to me, and it was a losing lottery ticket. Will you guys sign it and send it back? And they enclosed a stamped envelope, and I just got that. Got to bring it. So,
oh my God!
And we will send it back with the Go Pels.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Antonio, I've got to ask you this because Pelican fans know exactly what I'm talking about. Your relationship with Retro Pels. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
Well, it started a couple of years ago, just out of nowhere, and I love his anthems that he does. So, like we have with many fans in this community. You know, we started talking via social media and telling him, you know, I really like what you do. And then he started DMing me different things.
But we didn't know he was a he.
Right. We had no idea.
We didn't know who it was. It's crazy.
The whatever you call it on the social media, it's like a baby with a hat on. Yeah. So there was a game that we met him for the first time where he comes up and he's like, hey, you know, I'm Retro Pell. It's like, oh, man, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. So we just chatted. And since then, like, it's amazing to me how close you can get to certain fans.
Right.
You know, when his mom passed, he DM'd me and told me about it. And then I even, on the air, asked Pelicans fans and anybody that was listening to reach out and lift his family up in prayer for the time that they were going through. But then when he came back after the passing of his mother, he said, hey, I have the anthem ready to go if the Pels win tonight. This was after his mom passed. Wow. You know, so just the relationship that you have an opportunity to develop with some of these fans, like, and it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, they care deeply.
Yeah, as do we.
And,
right.
You know,
it matches.
Yeah, I can sense that passion.
Right.
And look, the Pelicans have had good seasons, and they've had some challenging times. Y'all have just signed a commitment, an extension.
Right.
What keeps y'all so close and excited about the Pelicans?
There's a few things, but the top of the list, we want this. The ultimate for us would to be a parade, okay? After maybe the 7th or 10th of June. That would be the ultimate.
Yeah.
There is nothing like it. He's won a ring, so he can tell you firsthand as a player at an elite level what it's like to play past Memorial Day. So that's what we want more than anything else. That's the North I'd be
Star.
A happy camper for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
He knows.
For me, I have grown to understand that this job is the ultimate blessing. Like, honestly, there are only 30 of them in the league. There are 30 of them. You know what I get paid to do? I get paid to talk about basketball. You know, we're
fortunate.
Yeah, we fly with the team. Great group of guys. We eat with the team. We travel with the team. And it's not commercial. You know, like, to understand the blessings that come along with what we do.
Yeah.
You know, it's very few people in this world that wake up every morning and think to themselves, like, I love what I do and I get paid to do it. There are a lot of people that wake up and say, you know what, man, I got to go to work again. I never feel like walking into an arena is a burden.
Yeah.
You know, getting on a plane and flying across country to cover a game that I'm passionate about is a burden. Like, this is the ultimate blessing for me.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We're really, really. If you love the game, and we both do, you walk in and it's just first of all, we want the kids in our locker room, and I call them kids because they're so much younger. And we have a really good core, good group of young men, and we want them to succeed. So you kind of feel it. You're intertwined.
Yeah.
And as AD mentioned, we have a brunch or a breakfast together, and the players are there. They know how much we care because we know how much time they're putting in. See, those guys live together. He can tell you for 8-9 months of the year, they don't see their families as much as their teammates. So we want to see them succeed.
Yeah.
And that would carry over to a parade. Whether it's Canal Poitras, you make the St. Charles would be great. I mean, go straight down.
As you can tell, you've thought about this. You would
You've
put
got
some
the
thought
route
into
down.
this.
Well,
The
no,
route is
I
down.
mean, I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
He's seen it. Was it on the river?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in San Antonio.
To the Pelicans, what keeps you excited? What do you see? What do you see coming together?
Well, the energy and the enthusiasm of some of the young guys. And then you have older guys like DeAndre Jordan who comes in and mentoring as well. So he knows how I feel. We have enough talent now. There's only a couple of things missing. So it's really close. We've been there before, and unfortunately we've suffered injuries. But you know how close we are.
Yeah, the part that sucks about the NBA is there are steps you have to take throughout the process.
Yeah.
And, you guys can attest to this with the Saints. You don't just go from being a certain point to winning the championship. There are steps that have to take place. Doesn't mean all the steps are easy. It doesn't mean all the steps are seamless. And you start to see the future. Like when I look at Jeremiah being 19 years old, when I look at Derek Queen being 21 years old, and the skill set that those young players have, and you look at just what the future has the potential to look like. And again, you can't skip steps in this league. Yeah. I know everybody would love to go from, being a team that's in the lottery to a team that wins it all. But, there's a process that has to take place. And in microwave culture, it's tough to ask fans to have a crock pot mentality. Because what everybody wants to do, they want to go from 1 to 10.
Right.
And it's hard to do. It takes time.
We were reminded of Detroit a couple of years ago, lost 28 straight. Last year they went to the playoffs.
And this year they got the best record in the Eastern Conference.
So it takes time. There's pieces already on this roster that fit really well. They're not far away.
Good.
That's what it boils down to.
That's good to hear. Some of our favorite calls of yours, Antonio, clickety-clack, clickety-clack.
Wait, say it again. Say it again.
Clickety-clack.
Wait, hold on. We got to get this right. So, okay, let's say it again. This is hilarious. Say clickety-clack, hot hand in the dice game.
Clickety-clack. I like the way you say it better than me.
Yeah.
I like ditto.
Right.
How did that come about?
Well, it's from the Chappelle Show, right? So it's a spinoff of the Chappelle Show. It's a guy's name is Ashy Larry on the Chappelle Show. What he used to do, they used to play dice. So he used to throw his dice when he got really hot, like 7-11. He used to throw his dice and say, clickety-clack, hot hand in the dice game. So when we have a guy that gets going, and I've done it with CJ and I've done it with Trey Murphy numerous times. It's a playoff of the Chappelle Show, but it just kind of
Shoot that thing, trigger, Trey Murphy.
Yes, I love the way you say these. I love the way you say these because they are about as grammatically proper as you can possibly say them. Yes.
Well, I'm just trying. That's all. I'm learning from two greats here. Joel, you followed the legendary Chick Hearn for the Lakers. You've called multiple Olympics, Major League Baseball, NFL, golf. What's the best game or career highlight for you?
Well, 8 years with Kobe Bryant. So it's not a game, as he knows, when you're around greatness. It's your experience and what you take away from that. And also, it wasn't something, sometimes it's not even in the game. It's like, whether it's practice or 90 minutes to 2 hours before anybody enters the building, because Kobe would show up and he'd get everything done before even the first bus got to the building 2 hours before. So 8 years with him, was an experience. And then winning rings, to watch him do it, because they were gifted Pau Gasol, and that was the Kwame Brown deal, the expiring contract. And that changed everything for that franchise because they were kind of floundering, knocked out back-to-back years by the Phoenix Suns. Pau Gasol comes over, and I was happy for Kobe. So not as much a game as an experience. I sat in the back of the plane like I do. We just sit in the last row, and he would tap me in the middle of the, we're in dark planes, and it was dark. We had a couch in the back, the old Champion Air, and he tapped me because he was a B&M, a bitch and moan session. And he tapped me because I'd walk in the back and sit down on the couch with him. So it was just watching somebody we watched Kevin Durant last night.
Oh,
it never gets old.
Yeah.
When you watch greatness, that's a treat.
And
you're
feeding off of that.
Well, and we had Branford Marsalis sitting with us last night. And I mean, talk about elite. Talk about gifted. And a great New Orleanian. So, and I watch him, play. I collect, and I have forever. So, it's not one game as much as an experience with.
Well, Antonio, and speaking of your experiences, high school All-American, all-conference at Bowling Green, NBA champion with a 13-year playing career, and now an Emmy-winning TV announcer. When you look back at that journey, did you ever imagine it would take you right here?
No, not at all. Like I remember going to, so when you get to the end of your career.
Yeah, you wonder what's the next step.
Yeah, so you start to think about what's next because relatively speaking, you're young, Lord willing.
Yeah.
35, 36 years old. So I remember going to Sportscaster University while I was still playing. And Sportscaster University is at Syracuse. I did it through the Players Association. They take you through so many different things, radio, TV, anchor work. And what I've learned there is you never really realize how difficult somebody else's job is until you do it. So we live in a culture, again, where people sit on the outside and judge what somebody else does, thinking, oh, I can do that, until you actually have to do it. So I remember going to Sportscaster University and thinking to myself, like, gosh, this is a lot tougher than I thought. So you're sitting there and you have 90 seconds to talk about fill in the blank, while you have a producer talking in your ear while you're trying to make a point on why you think the Boston Celtics will win a championship again. Like this. And I remember walking away from there and thinking to myself, I'm not doing this. There's no way I'm doing this. God had other plans. One thing led to another. I have a basketball camp. I went on the radio talking about my basketball camp. And then they called me in San Antonio and asked me if I would do a radio show. And I was like, well, okay. I did it. That led to something else. That led to something else. And now, like Joel said about Kobe Bryant, now I'm blessed on a night-to-night basis to be sitting and doing a job next to greatness.
Well, and he loves what he does, and it comes across.
That shows that you hear that.
Bottom line.
Very much.
And by the way, we've only been together 7 years, but the appreciation, he just celebrated a birthday, We partied forever that night. But I let him know, we sit next to each other. It doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
We're fortunate.
Y'all done some exciting things together. We can talk about the baby crawl race if you'd like.
Oh, I don't want to go there.
He don't want to do that.
You don't want to do the baby crawl race?
He won't do that.
This is the one I picked,
Hey, hold on. It's not over yet.
Look at me.
Laps the field.
That's the one I picked off the jump. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From now on, you're buying the lottery
That's the
tickets.
one I picked.
From now on, you're buying lottery tickets.
What did I tell you, Joel?
Well,
Because
I found out after the fact, performance-enhancing drugs, or formula. Should I say performance-enhancing?
PEF.
He got one 2 years ago that was shot out of a cannon. I mean,
We have seen a million babies. I have never in my life seen a baby crawl that fast. That baby might as well got up and just took off running.
Right.
Put the baby in the draft.
Yeah, might as well.
Let me ask the crew. Crew, y'all have any questions you have?
Thanks, Mark. So, Antonio, turtleneck, talk to us about it. What's that all about?
When did that start? 3 years ago?
When I told you should wear a dickie.
That is very true. That is very true. Again, we are complete opposites because I have no idea what a dickie is. I do now. But it started a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, where I've done it before. And I actually have a picture when I was a child of, in like the 4th grade, I'm wearing a suit with a turtleneck. But I actually did it for 4 or 5 games, and the Pelicans won all 5 games. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, the fans started to talk about it via social media. Like, hey, ever since you started wearing a turtleneck, it was the year that they went to the playoffs. The first year they went to the playoffs.
And he was in a hot turtleneck.
Yeah,
it was warm. It was warm. It was fun.
It was
was
warm because that
great.
was against Phoenix.
Yep.
It was against Phoenix. Phoenix in April.
It can be pretty hot.
It was pretty hot.
Toasty.
But that's kind of where it all started. So I started wearing a turtleneck then, and fans started commenting on the parallel between. Obviously, it has nothing to do with them winning and losing games, but it was just a fun play on how the Pelicans were playing at that particular time.
That's a great story. What else you got?
Second question, as a production crew, we absolutely love the animated work that you guys do.
Okay, fine. Which one's your pick?
AD, you don't just pick. You analyze. You study the pace, the race.
Okay. Well, in that case, Trick or Trot.
That's a great choice. And they're off. Trick or Trot surges.
Go! Eat that track, Trick or Trot. That's what I'm talking about, Joe. Clickety clack. Hot hand in the dice game.
I told you, brother. I told you. You're a natural.
Yes, sir. It's Trigger.
Who's the brainchild with this? And we were talking earlier about the logo, the Mark Romig logo. How do we get Mark into this animated series?
That's great. Well, first of all, it's a young lady who put it all together with Doug Tatum.
Yes, yeah.
And
Yeah, Doug Tatum.
Right. Doug, who's
Great
Pelicans.com.
digital expert, yeah.
He is exceptional. He is that is one of the great hires by the
Yes.
Saints and Pels about 13, 14 years ago. Former sports editor at
Right.
the Times-Picayune. So Doug Tatum, this young lady, put together the idea, and she's right behind it, and she does a great job. And then we go into a studio. We don't really see some of it. We see, but
No, we didn't see any of them when we were doing the voiceovers.
the first time we didn't. But then they had, remember, we got to see on a laptop some ideas.
Oh, what it would look like,
What
yeah.
it would look like.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is a good idea. But
He'd done this before, though.
Yeah.
He'd done voiceover. I have never in my
Right.
life done a voiceover.
but not like this.
Yeah, but he had done, like, we'll be somewhere and be like, hey, you know what, I can't make it today because I got to do some voiceover work, for
Yeah.
whatever. So I have never in my life done voiceover work before. So this was a completely new avenue for me to travel down. But it was actually really cool.
Yeah.
And
We
I
had
love the
fun.
way it turned out.
Yeah, fun with it.
That's great.
Really a great idea by Doug and
Mm-hmm.
this young lady.
Cal, what you got?
My question is specifically for Joel.
Uh-oh.
I remember this must have been like, I don't know, maybe like 8 years ago. I was watching the Pelicans game, and I saw him behind the announcer's table, and I heard his voice, and I was like, where have I I've seen him before somewhere, and then it clicked. Key and Peele's East-West Bowl.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Stasson, alongside Jeff Worthing, and welcome to the annual East-West Bowl, as we get ready to watch some of the best college players in the nation showcase their skills in a classic showdown between East and West.
Yep.
I watched that
Voiceover
in high
work,
school,
see?
yes. And I'm just
right.
wondering, does that skit stand out to you at all? And did you know
Well,
what they were up to?
We didn't have a real well, first of all, we did the first one in a 7-on-7 tournament they had in a really hot stadium way out in the San Fernando Valley in L.A. And it was warm, and they had trailers with air conditioners and everything and we'd get up there and knock it out. And it was so successful, the second one we did was on a Hollywood soundstage with a green screen, and it was a celebration, it was a party for the executive producers and their friends. So, but, people come up to me and they'll go, man, I love your work. And I said, oh, you're a Pels fan? No, Key and Peele. And I go, I could talk about fudge all day.
Fudge. And remember, you can't talk about 2013 without bringing up fudge. Everybody's talking about fudge. At 350 pounds, this running back is almost unstoppable the whole year.
You're right. I could talk about fudge all day.
They would want a picture you're in an airport because of Key and Peele. Those guys, it continues for them.
Hilarious.
They're super creative.
Hilarious.
Right.
Very much so.
That's awesome.
One more question from our crew.
So, guys, last time, I tell you what, I'm so entertained every time I go to a Pelicans game, especially listening to you guys, but at the same time, just the halftime entertainment is just so enjoyable. My kids love it, all of the above. What is you guys' favorite halftime show or entertainment?
I know for me, it's well, because she's been around so long.
Right.
Red Panda has been around, But my kids, they love. I just know the dog's name.
Any of
His
them.
name is Scooby.
Yep.
That's the dog's name.
The
I'm
little
not sure
Chihuahua.
The little.
You got
I'm not
it.
sure what that sounds really bad. I'm not sure what the actual performer's name is, but the dog with Scooby that kind of walks on top of the ball and crawls up his back.
Yeah.
And,
Any dog act.
that is very true because you
Any
send a
dog.
lot. You send me a lot of those too.
Yeah, I loved it. I miss having a dog because we travel too much.
Yeah.
And but the Frisbees, and it's amazing because if you're into dogs and I am, cats, anything like that.
Also, the Pelicans have pulled together some of the most beautiful national anthem singers.
Right.
They're just always.
But that's how it should be.
Right.
This is a city that is built on culture and
Good
food
music.
and
The voices
music
here.
and that's
fantastic.
exactly how it should be.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the official New Orleans questionnaire. This is something all of our featured guests get to experience.
Can't wait.
So
Karnak the Magnificent.
let's have some fun here. Hey, y'all, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and turn on your notifications. Please follow us. We've got new shows each and every week. And a very, very special thanks to all of our sponsors who are making this possible. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.